Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a very difficult day. Herbert was my colleague, friend, competitor, and brother. Only Herbert could have been all those things to a human being. That was the breath the gentleman had. We started as colleagues. I met Herbert November 1991. We were both in the corporate bank. This gentleman walked in, didn't take off his jacket because we all had our jackets on, but that was Herbert. He was going to do it his own way. He drove a red Golf. Who drives a red Golf? Only a man who's that brazen drives around in a red Golf. Very quickly, Herbert earned our respect. Herbert was one of the cleverest people in Guaranty Trust Bank. He was a credit analyst. But that's not what got him his respect, because we were all good analysts. But Herbert had what we all didn't have. He had the power to chase accounts, network, and deliver things that we all couldn't. We had another brother who was the treasurer of the bank, who basically, if you know banking, the treasurer owns the bank. And we would have regular fights, but Herbert would never join us. He had no interest in treasury, and all he cared about, as Kathy said, was his own corporate bank and his income. Having earned our respect, Herbert then became my friend, a real friend. We went in and out of each other's houses. I go on Festival Road. Again, when people talk about the courage of Herbert, Herbert's first flat was in Victoria Island. Most of us, we couldn't even move out of home. And so when we got there again, he had done something none of us could do. Maybe it was coincidence, but most people might not know. Herbert's first flat was next door to the old Axis Bank head office next to Intercontinental. Maybe it was Providence, and he knew he would one day buy that bank. So we were friends. We all got married in the bank, had our children in the bank. Herbert was always there for you as a friend, always had a listening ear. And so he became my friend, and we rose. Myself, him, and I became executive directors on the same day. The thing about that position is you were then sent to Harvard for 3 months. Mistake. You never came back from that course the same person. Ike and Herbert came back and they had bigger dreams than the bank. And so they bought their own bank. Thankfully, one of us stayed, maybe the cowardly one. And so I stayed behind. And in the years when they built Axis Bank, if you know us well, we compete. And so we became very fierce competitors. They decided they were going to build the best bank, and I decided that we're not going to build a better bank than I ran. And so we fought furiously, but never poorly or never badly. And then as we all matured, Herbert became my brother, a real brother. Herbert always had time. He would always make the phone call you needed to get you out of sports and bubble. It's weird. My last conversation with him was 2 weeks before he died. He came to my house like he sometimes pops by. He talked about nothing but this university. This was his obsession. And the only thing he asked me was would I sponsor some ignorant students? And I made him that promise that I would. I have but one little comfort, by the way, when I think of Herbert, is that Herbert packed into 57 years what most exceptional people will never pack into 2 lifetimes. Rest in peace, my friend, my brother.